All right, we're going to talk about equations of lines in the coordinate plane. Many of you guys are really familiar with these, but we're going to talk about them. Slope. So slope is m of a line is the ratio of the vertical change, called the rise, to the horizontal change, called the run, between any 2 points. So you might have seen slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. You might have heard that called the rise over the run. So these are the 4 types of slope. Okay, so we have negative slope. So as we go from left to right, it's going down. Positive slope, from left to right, we have going up. We have an undefined slope, is a vertical. And we have a zero slope with a horizontal here. Okay, so make sure that you try and use zero, undefined, negative, or positive. So here's our first one. It says find the slope of the given graph. So when I look at this, I notice that it crosses a point here and crosses a point here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually physically count up and over. So if I have to go up, it's positive. If I go to the right, it's positive. If I go down, it's negative. If I end up going left, it's negative. But most of the time, we talk about going to the right. So I'm going to count up. 1, 2, 3. So my rise is 3. And then my run, 1, 2. Run is 2. So my slope here is 3/2. Okay, so now I'm going to look at it between 2 points. So now I have the point 1, negative 3 and the point 2, 8. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just pick this to be x2, y2. It doesn't really matter as long as you keep it consistent. So I'm going to go 8 over 2 minus minus. So I take my y value, so minus 3 over 1. So 8 minus 3, 8 minus a negative 3 is 11. 2 minus 1 is 1, so my slope there is 11. Okay, so linear forms. So there are 3 different types of linear equations. We are going to talk about slope-intercept form, which is the one most people are most familiar with. So that's y equals mx plus b, where m is my slope and b is my y-intercept. We have point slope. This one, a lot of people don't tend to remember, but it's very, very quick to use when we're trying to find the equation of a line. So it's y minus y sub 1 equals m times the quantity x minus x sub 1, where m is the slope, x sub 1 is my x coordinate, and y sub 1 is my y coordinate. So this is the point here, x1, y1, that's my coordinate, or my point, and then m is my slope. And then we have standard form, where we have ax plus by equals c, where a, b, and c are integers, okay? So graphing a line. So we're going to graph this one. I'm going to show you graphing. This is in slope-intercept form, so I'm going to use that intercept and then use my slope. So the first thing I'm going to do is plot my -2. So I'm going to go down to -2. I'm going to put a dot at -2. Now I'm going to use my slope. So I always talk about up and down to the right, up and down to the right. If it's negative, I'm going to go down. If it's positive, I'm going to go up. Okay? So this is a positive 2/3. So I'm going up 2 and then to the right 3. 1, 2, 3. There's my second point. 2 points make us a line. So now I'm going to connect those 2 points. Okay? So now I have point slope. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually look at my coordinate first. Okay. Could I solve this into y equals mx plus b? Absolutely I could. But what I want to do is I want to show you that there are, through all of these, we can graph them. Okay. So the first thing I want to do is find my point. So my point, remember it's opposite sign. So it's going to be -2, +1. Okay, so that gives me my point. So I'm going to go -2, +1. And if you didn't catch how I got this point, remember it's what value makes that 0. So what value plus 2 is going to give me 0, negative 2. What value minus 1 is going to give me 0, 1. Now that I have my point, I can use my slope. Well, my slope is negative 3, so another way to write that is negative 3 over 1. So I'm going to go down 3, 1, 2, 3, right 1. I now have 2 points. I'm going to connect those 2 points with a line, and there's my graph of those lines. Now, if I had standard form, I'd want to find the x and y intercepts. Okay, so now we're going to write an equation. So now it says I have a slope of 3 and a y-intercept of negative 5. So since I have slope and y-intercept, I'm going to use my slope-intercept form. So y equals mx plus b. Well, that gives me y equals, I know my m, it's 3x. I know my b, it's negative 5. So there's my equation of the line. Y equals 3x minus 5. Okay? Now I have a point and a slope. So now I'm going to use point slope. So I have y minus y sub 1 equals m times the quantity x minus x sub 1. Okay? So this is y sub 1. So I'm going to plug in my 5 here. Y minus 5 equals m, which is 2. X minus my exponent, which is negative 1. Now, a lot of you will probably just go ahead and simplify that right away, and that's fine. I wanted you to see that it goes in there, how it goes in there. It's going to work out to be the opposite sign. Okay, so now we're going to have a graph here. So when I'm looking at this graph, I notice it does cross the y-intercept. So it crosses it right here at negative 5. Okay, so I know my b is going to be negative 5. Okay, now I'm going to look to see if there's another point that it crosses a grid. Well, it crosses it right here. So now I'm going to look at for my slope. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. So my rise is up 3, 1, 2. So I have 3, 2. So my slope is going to be 3 over 2. So now I can plug it in. Y equals 3 over 2x minus 5. So I just took the information from my graph. If I did not have the point where it intersected here, I would actually find 2 points, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and just use those points and use it in point slope. Oh. Okay, horizontal and vertical lines. So vertical lines are x equals. Okay, so they're x equals a number. It might be 5, it might be 10. It's just equal to a number. Okay. Horizontal lines are y equals a number. Okay. So what are the equations of a horizontal and vertical lines through 2, 4? Well, what's your x coordinate? Remember, it goes x, y. So my vertical line is x equals 2. My horizontal line is y equals 4. Okay, so I'm just taking the coordinates, x equals 2, y equals 4. That gives me my horizontal and vertical line. Okay, what would you say if someone took your playing cards? Decagon. What kind of insect is good at math? An account ant. All right, so that's utilizing linear equations.